Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stream of Thoughts. And, well, this one's an important one, and there's a lot to talk about. So, well, let's get started, shall we? Probably one of the bigger reasons why I've made this channel, and you might have seen it in previous mentions, but I really wanted a channel to show kind of applied what I've learned, kind of in life, but also in psychology as well. And well, it's not exact psychology is feels pretty general, could be applied anywhere, but uh I feel like I use it better in a more applied situation. And so creating this channel was kind of a big drive towards kind of showing off what I could do, what I've learned in well, both education and myself personally. And so I decided that this would kind of be my quote unquote air quote unquote psychology and insight kind of project. And well, I don't know, just on paper it doesn't really feel it's really difficult to explain it really. Like what does that even mean? And how exactly is it shown? I mean, there's not really much proof of that anywhere really. Well, there's one proof of it, but well, that's more of an educative thing. But really, nothing else. Otherwise, all it seems like I'm doing is just uploading YouTube videos of me just doing stuff and well, mostly playing games, but just doing creative things and whatnot. And really, that's what every you'd find that pretty much just anywhere on YouTube. Really what makes me so different. It's well, a difficult solution to find, especially when you're trying to, well, it seems like you're trying to be the same as everyone else. But really, what I found, well, my answer is that it could be found, this difference could be found in the process, the thought behind making these videos and why I do things as they are and how they do. They're a lot more, I guess tactical would be the word. Although it is odd because technically I'm practicing it, but there isn't really a target to practice on. But it's because of this practice I've been getting that I can work towards, well, refining it and doing better. So, I guess without further ado, let's talk about it. What, where exactly is psychology and insight found on the channel? And well, for this first one, kind of my first point here in my notes is passion. It feels like such a simple thing, not really psychological and more insightful, but really, I wanted to do something I was passionate about, something I love. Because from my experience, and just from general observation, well, doing something that isn't fun isn't gonna last long, it's not gonna do well for anybody involved, and this is technically an investment of my time. I better be doing what I love. It's a simple solution for some, and for others it might not be, but it's important to, well, actually do things that you specialize in so then you could actually keep going with what you're doing. We're just about coming up on the halfway point. This is the big episode 20. 20 already, wow. And the reason I could keep going on with this is because, well, I love it. It's a side project, but I still love it. And so, with that, well, I'm able to keep going on with it. Now, compare that to some channels where people don't really do what they love anymore, or or perhaps people who just want to keep up with the trends. It's difficult for them to kind of sustain, keep up with the amount of work they're supposed to do. In fact, they already see it as work, which is, well, I mean, already a bad place to be creating things. I believe the phrase is, love what you do and you don't have to work on the day. Love your work and you don't have to work a day in your life. So, I take it to heart. And I'm still having fun doing it. This is a more insightful thing, so what about psychology? Where exactly do I apply that in simple schedule-based, well, gaming videos? And really, it's, well, I have it in scheduling. So, I guess for this, I've been, as or you may or may not know, I've always scheduled these videos. Nowadays, it is, what's it, Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, and then Saturday Stream of Thoughts will be uploaded sometime past 8, because I stream it right at 8 and then publicly release it immediately after. And so the reason I do that is, well, for two reasons. Well, multiple, but focusing on two. The first is just me, for myself. We're all schedule-based beings. We all have a cycle, an internal clock, if you will, of when we do things and how we do things. And so by creating this schedule routine, you're able to know and are able to be aware of kind of content and content production. This is what I need to do. This is when I need to do it by. It shows it. I believe I mentioned this way early on, but it shows a good sign of good work ethic, and it's an important one to show in, well, in terms of just painting a good picture of yourself in front of whoever. And so, well, for myself, it's good. And also well, I guess it also provides some sort of, well, positive reinforcement for me, where I do the work and I could actually monitor and see my progress, show that I'm ahead, and, well, actually physically mark off that I finished this, and so it's good for me. I get, positive reinforcement for doing work and getting it done early. Now, in terms of an audience, I know that there isn't really an audience that commits to this, so there doesn't seem to be a point, but as I mentioned before, just practice before an audience. But, well, for an audience, it's very important for them to actually know and be aware that there's a schedule that is religiously followed. It lets them know that kind of there's a bit of trust. That, hey, every Tuesday and Thursday at noon, you should expect a video, and that video is there. It gives the reinforcement on their side. And so keeping this up is important to show kind of this level of trust that this is, yes, this is, you behaved in a specific way and this is your reward for it. It's again, more positive reinforcement. It might be, I forget what it was. Might have been delayed gratification as well, or anticipating something, which kind of goes into my next point of, I only do this 3 times a week, and, well, streaming included. Actually, yeah, I should mention about streaming too. Once again, my streaming is consistent, always 10:30 a.m. Eastern, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and following those same reasons. And so whenever someone tunes in, or they'll always know that, well, I've uploaded something, or I've done something, or am doing something. And so kind of getting that on the day of is rewarding for them in executing that behavior. But also, probably one of the one I well one kind of seemingly controversial thing is that I only do well 3 things a week, which is kind of unheard of in air quotes popular YouTube the popular YouTube area. Why'd I do that? Well, it's because well it's build up. That way people will actually be able to well they need to wait to get their reward and then they'll be rewarded. It's the well practicing the virtue of patience, but and it helps me actually take a break between these things. This isn't what I do. It's a side gig, and it's an important reminder of me to do that, but also it provides a good means of almost uh kind of creating a delay so then the reward feels much greater. And so that is also a reasoning behind having a 3-day schedule on YouTube. Now, if you're seeing this in real time, technically it wouldn't be correct because I've been making some changes, but those changes are temporary. Although Wednesdays might be occupied now. Although nothing done professionally edited quite yet. But yeah. Scheduling is, well, very important to what I do and how I structured this channel from the very beginning. Now, alongside that, this is an interesting one. Video length. Now, on YouTube, it's kind of common for people, especially well in the realm of gaming, to make videos that are just long. Maybe something between an hour, well, maybe having videos that are around an hour long, which is great, I guess. You get more content per day, especially with the rate of uploads. But nothing is really short anymore because, well, it feels like not a lot can be done. And yet I chose to do the opposite. Make it short, around 20-minute videos. Now, why would I do that? You would definitely get more things in, well, you'll get more content in the span of an hour if you get an hour video in a day as opposed to 20 minutes per day. Well, once again, I'm doing that for multiple reasons. First, well, simple. I kind of intend for this to be a bit of a time capsule. It's not like, well, sure, I'm not getting out a lot of content at a time, but I do at the very least know that it will be finished. And so I'm creating it day by day, and to make sure that, hey, if anyone does watch that, it'll probably be in the future. And at least now, we've created a system, I'll call it a system, of just bingeable videos. It's more easy to commit, especially when people are busy and, well, their lives are just occupied. It's more easy to kind of binge a series that is, well, you'd probably rather watch 3 20-minute episodes rather than 1 hour full-length video. And so that's kind of why I created that. It's also a way to kind of entice people to come in. Perhaps looking at, say, an hour video might be too intimidating to look at because of its length and just general, as I said, obligations that people have. And so what I want to do is to actually create shorter videos, so then you'd be able to actually, watch, say, one before going back work living your life, and then maybe watch another. And then by creating it in 20-minute portions and with the schedule delay between days, if you're observing this in real time, then that creates some more anticipation of what's gonna happen next. What, like, you're kind of excited for the next air quote episode. You could see here this has been a lot of kind of the same mentality that, say, a television show would have, where it's bingeable and they're just 20-minute episodes, and it's kind of a reason why I created it that way. But it also makes it easier on myself to edit, and well, yeah, easier to edit, and I get more space between, well, what I do. Now, finally, I think the last thing I want to talk about, unless something else spontaneously comes up, is, well, the videos itself. And, well, what I'm doing now is something new, something different. Yeah, this is how I could transition this. At this point in time, I'm uploading my live stream VODs into YouTube. And those are kind of the hour and a half long because I feel they don't need to be edited since they're kind of one-offs. And so with that, since I've uploaded my VODs of my one-off games, which could just be anything, in this current case, pretty much not Hollow Knight, now I could create almost a reach. It's important to create reach based on, well, and pull in people based on, well, draw people in based on the things they like, the games they like to play. And so I figured to create in a streaming environment, to be able to stream a different game each week and upload it here on YouTube, I feel would be, well, ideal for people to actually be found. And so that's kind of the reason why I wanted to upload, well, variety videos onto here, so then that could happen. And so, well, I pretty much talked a lot about it, but yeah, reach is important. It gets, well, you gain access to other people. And, well, I mean, for someone who's just starting out, access to people is kind of the best you could do. And that's exactly what I aim to do, especially since people have different interests or come from different walks of life and whatnot. Now, worth noting, I've mentioned this before, but kind of what I'm doing is, well, against what's really, I guess, followed here in this environment where everything is kind of in an algorithmic process. Things are checked if you do things daily, if you do things that are kind of bait people in. I'm forgetting the term. Why can't I remember the term? Because, well, it's temporary cheat. No. It doesn't really help establishing myself. And so that is the big reason why I keep wanting to do what I do. And so I keep doing it this way to show that this is who I am. This is how I think. This is, well, yeah, I'm not gonna make it temporary. Even though it's led to nearly nothing so far. Well, the farmer has to attend to his crops even though they haven't bore fruit yet. And you know, this crop may not bear fruit, but it's important that you stay true to yourself in the process, and that's kind of the important thing. I believe that is everything I wanted to talk about. Bit of a heavy one, but a very important one, I feel. What does psychology and insight mean, really? And it's kind of applying what I learned behind and putting it behind this process. Hopefully this is a good way of showing just, well, how I think in general and how far ahead I've been thinking. This project hasn't been just do it on a whim, or do it because I like to do it. Well, I mean, yes it is, but there are always layers of reasoning behind every action I do. And there's always thought put behind the reasoning as to why I do things. And it's important that I put it out there because on surface level, you can't see it at all. And I hope that this video, very important one, will actually show this. So yeah, I believe that's everything I wanted to talk about. And if not, I could always talk about it more in the future. I'm sure there's a lot of other thoughts and reasonings that I've had that I didn't incorporate into my notes because I just forgot. But yeah, perhaps we'll tackle it in a later day, but for now, well, this has been the stream, and those have been my thoughts. Wow, that sounds smooth. Well, take care.